Hey, look what I got today from Creality. They reached out to me and asked me if I was interested in collaborating with them. And so they sent me this Falcon 2 Pro 22 watt laser engraver and cutter. So we're gonna unbox it and see what we can create with this. Welcome to this week's video. This is the first time I'm doing a voiceover. The reason I'm going to do a voiceover on this video is because I had some loss of some of my footage whenever I was transferring from my cameras to my hard drives. Some of the files ended up being corrupt. And so I just wanted to make sure that I was able to include some extra information for you guys. And yeah, so thanks for stopping by, and I'll be popping in occasionally to give you some extra information. Okay, so here we are with the Creality Falcon 2 Pro all put together, and I have ran some calibration tests and camera tests to make sure that it's going to run okay. I've downloaded stuff to my computer. I also downloaded Lightburn, is the most popular one out there to go with about any of your laser printers. It's the software to help run this. You can create it and put it on a flash drive and plug it into here, or an SD card, I should say, and not have your computer hooked up. I think I would prefer to run it with my computer hooked up. That way I have a little more control while I'm at the computer to watch it work. So I have played around with it some. I've cut a few things, and I will show you those things later, and maybe some clips of me cutting. Took me a while to get all my cameras set up. My lighting isn't the best in this area of my basement, but this is where I want it fairly close to my shop, so I can use it with my pieces. So my next step is I'm gonna try to do a few other things and see if I can incorporate it into my wood turning world. I do think that there's a value to this in any type of woodworking. There's multiple things that it'll grave and cut. I will put a list up of all that, but I think it could be a great little side hustle for people. But I want to see if I can take it into my wood turning world. Now, I have seen a video from Mike Holton that used the Creality, I think it was the 40 watt. So he had the ability to cut a little bit thicker pieces. I've got the 22 watt. So I'm going to see if I can take that and use it in my wood turning world. I have imported a picture from, let me pull up, Free SVG is the site that I went to. They have tons of SVG vectors, different clip art and things like that, and it is free, so that's what I love about it. All you have to do is go and download in SVG form, which is good in a Lightburn situation, it helps for that system to read it. Uploaded it into my Lightburn, and right now it's on the work platform, so I am going to get a piece of wood. With the full enclosure and the vent and hose, it is going to help control the smoke. And I do believe if you don't have a way to vent it out, that they have an air purifying system that, you know, is an added expense. But it's great if you're not in an area that you can actually vent it out outside. So, you know, that's an added bonus, just help control all that. All right, let's see how deep. That's pretty cool. Just gonna say, I think I like that. I would probably want to go a little deeper. Let me see what I measure out at. As far as depth. Not this. Yeah, right at 3 millimeters. A little under. So now I gotta find me another board that's gonna fit on that. That's pretty cool. One of the great options with the Creality 2 Pro is that it has a top built-in camera, so it helps line up your projects between Lightburn and what's in the bed of the laser engraver. I find that to be very helpful with using those things. There are a lot of other features that I'll be updating you guys on in a little bit. What do we think? Huh? Think that would look cool. All leveled off. And it looks kind of cool as a 3D effect too. Okay, for this next one, I have a block of walnut, basically the same size as this one. I have it loaded into the bed of the laser printer, and I took out some of the bars and laid them flat in the bottom of the tray, and then set this on it. Because of the depth of the piece, I had to do that to lower the bed enough to fit the piece in. I could not raise the laser printer itself up high enough to leave it up on the bars. So I have already framed it, and the design I'm going with is kind of a braided design. And I don't know, I've got this other camera pointed. Let me see if we can see how things look on the inside and how I've got it set down. I'm going to get everything set up and make sure I've got cameras all facing the right way. I will show you some of it. We'll probably fast forward through most of the engraving or jump ahead to the end because, you know, you don't want to watch an hour's worth of a little head be bopping around. Let me again, since I just adjusted something, let me again look at the frame. And make sure I'm setting within my block of wood. So the Pro 2 versions are loaded with safety features. That's something I really love about the engravers, and they have a key that I can lock anybody else out from using. You know, that's a great safety feature if you have kids or multiple people in your workspace. You have that control ability. Also, it has the FDA Class 1 safety certification on the top enclosure. The transparent cover, it helps you to see in there, but you're not, it's going to protect your eyes. Also, if you open that lid, it's going to shut off the machine immediately. So you're extra protected with your vision. There are several other features with the airflow monitor, the flame monitor, and the lens monitor. Those will all alert you should there be some type of problem. You know, the lens monitor is going to alert you if your lens is dirty, so you know if your engraver isn't cutting good. The flame monitor is going to take care of if you should happen to catch something on fire, it's going to shut the machine down. An airflow monitor is important to help keep that dust away and making sure your airflow is in good shape. So those are a few more items. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, here we are in the workshop finally. Let's discuss the two cuts that I made on these. These are both engrave cuts. So this one I'm gonna use to put epoxy in. I made my design. This will be the rim of my bowl. I cut this groove out in the center because I was concerned, you know, this isn't super deep. And I thought, you know, if I get it off a little bit on the lathe, then I could end up losing, or my inlay could look wonky or funny. I don't know if this is the right answer, but I cut the groove to fit my chuck, and that way I can start out on the lathe this way, and hopefully I will be in the right position and not off too much. The other thing that I didn't think of until after I cut the grooves in both of them is because I planed my pieces of wood and I sanded them, I should have, I could have left it flat, but then you see this outer line around here that I had the laser engraver do. I could have done the same thing on this in the center, because I can center everything and make sure it's all locked within the center. I could have done that and put a faceplate, you know, made the same diameter of what my faceplate is, and then I could have lined it up and had a nice, you know, parallel to my inlay. Probably would have been smarter than doing the chuck thing, because with such a deep groove that I've created down in here with the laser engraver, and the fact that this is, you know, natural wood and some of it's gonna burn, because that's what a engraver basically does. It isn't quite as level, especially because, you know, I'm sure there's things that I can learn with this engraver to make sure that that is a level spot in there. Yeah, so I've got a lot to learn with it. This piece, I'm gonna put some hot glue around it, and then I'm gonna put some epoxy in that, for that rim. And then this one is my Sassafras board, and Sassafras kind of burnt a little differently. It doesn't seem to be super, the walnut's a lot smoother in the base of it, even though you can see some lines. The Sassafras sure is ripply in there, and I'm sure it has to do with the grain, and it is a softer wood. So this is my inlay, and here is walnut that I cut out, and I'm going to put those in there. Now you can see where it didn't cut quite out the same point, and I think part of that is there's a thing called the kerf, which is to do with the thickness. Say if the kerf on your saw blade or anything like that, that is the thickness of your blade and what material it's going to remove. So the same thing goes for a laser engraver or cutter. It's going to have a kerf on it also, and I don't know what the kerf is on this one, and whenever I need to do some more research on it and learn about the kerf, so that I do get to keep some of the finer points whenever I want to, say, do an inlay with it from one wood to another. You know, I've just got so much more I need to learn with it. Anyway, so I also did the line here and did the chuck grip. So we're going to go with that. I may go ahead and take this over to the bandsaw after I got it glued on, just because I am so thin. So it's going to be a pretty thin, shallow little platter or something whenever I get done with it. Some 5-minute epoxy mixed in with some black mica powder from Resin. So on this piece, unfortunately, this was, the Sassafras was the part that I lost my engraving and cutting footage. I also lost the epoxy filling on my walnut footage. So hopefully you guys can tell whenever I put it on the lathe, and just kind of what I just explained what I was going to do, you'll kind of understand what I did with the lathe. Finally, this is all set up in here. Let's see if this is going to work. Bring this up and ready. Don't expect it to be level around. I'm looking more down this way. Go ahead and put tailstock support on it, mainly because my jaws are they're dovetail jaws, and I couldn't cut that into the laser, but I figured this would be enough just to get it centered, get it round, and to create the way of holding it on the back side. So get everything lined up, and I'll get geared up and we'll get to spinning on it. Full transparency, I decided whenever Creality reached out to me not to respond to them for at least a week. I felt like I needed to do my homework and research on them and make sure it was a product that I would enjoy, and also that it was a quality product. I wanted to make sure, I was hoping that it would be something you guys would be interested in also. So after I reached out to them, they let me know that they would be sending me the Falcon 2 Pro laser engraver and cutter, and from that point on I did a little more research to see what I was getting, and I can tell you, after receiving it and the limited amount of time that I've had to work on it, whenever I produce this video, has, you know, it's been fairly easy to work with, and I just can't find anything that I don't care for about it right now, and I think it's a great product. It's definitely sturdy. It's done everything that I've asked it to do. I've even pushed the emergency stop button to make sure it worked, and that worked out great. I also have cut several other little things and tried out some different stuff. So still probably not putting it to the test that I'm ready to put it to. But that will take a little bit of time in the future for me to do some more of that. I just, you know, right now, you know, it is a good machine, and I think it would be an excellent machine for anybody that wants to possibly start a little side hustle, or it could even be a full business, you know, with being able to engrave on multiple things or cut out, you know, little projects and stuff like that. So yeah, you know, I'm impressed with it so far. So I want to thank them again for reaching out to me and giving me this opportunity. All right, so we're going to start taking this face down a little bit. I went ahead and put tailstock because I don't have a super thickness for my mortise. So I'm barely on there, but it's such a small piece, I think it shouldn't be a problem. So let's see how this is going to work out. You can see that I ended up getting into my lines. That wasn't my purpose to go to that point, but I wasn't paying attention. I was just turning. All right, let's spin her up. got her out of the pressure pot. Cut the corners off. Let's see if this one's going to mount up okay. And hopefully I don't have any voids in my epoxy. Let's get spinning on this one. I'll show you both of them at the end of the video. Knocking back the corners. This time, I'm going to try not to get into the top of that. So if anybody is interested in the Lux resin products that I used this week, I will have a link down in the description below, and a discount code for you to use to save some money. I also have a link in my description below to Creality and the Falcon 2 Pro machine. So if you're interested in that, absolutely go down to my descriptions below, click on those links. It'll send you over. You can do some research. You know, I wholeheartedly believe that this is a great machine, and it could be a benefit to anybody that is wanting to look at expanding their abilities with their creativity. You know I've got a lot of woodturners that watch me, so I just wanted to show some of that, how I would use it with woodturning. But I know I do have several people that watch me that don't do woodturning and that are artists, and if they haven't looked into the laser engraver cutting world, this may give them an opportunity to expand in their artistry. So yeah, jump on down there to that description and click the links. I will get a small commission. It is just a tiny one. If anybody is interested in purchasing, if you go through the links, that's when I will get the commission if you purchase through the link. So, I want to thank you guys for having the patience for me to go through all this process and learning this machine, and hopefully you guys find some interest in it. So again, I want to apologize for not getting a video out last week. It's just been a crazy busy time with me running out to North Carolina and helping my daughter, and I have also been getting ready for an art show in St. Louis that's going to take place at the end of this month. It's going to be over Labor Day weekend. And I just, it takes a lot of work for those shows. They are getting your product ready and designing your booth space, So I've been quite busy doing all that stuff and learning a laser engraver cutter in the meantime. If you're in the St. Louis area and between August 30th and September 1st, the art show is called Art Fair at Queenie Park. If you happen to be in the area, stop by and pop in and say hi to me. Okay, so what do you guys think about this week's project? Learning the laser engraver printer. I only had like a week to learn it in because, as you could see, I didn't have a video last week. I was away in North Carolina helping my daughter move, and the laser engraver came while I was gone. And so whenever I came back, I had to rearrange things and make space for it out in the other part of my basement, and then just learn about it. I watched lots of videos about them and learning the software. I mean, it isn't terribly hard, it just takes some time. So there's that. I'm super excited that they sent it to me. To bring it into my world, as far as wood turning, these were the things that I picked first, which is the walnut inlay and the sassafras. I could have sanded it a little better, I'm not going to lie about that. It's more of an open grain already, so it was going to take lots of sanding, and I was wanting to move along. So felt like it worked out, you know, pretty good. I need to adjust a little bit for the kerf, and I still have some educating myself on that. So the next time I do this project, and I will do it again, I think you can make some really unique designs. I will try to learn enough about that to do the adjust for that. All that's going to come in time with me learning more about the Creality Falcon 2 Pro. I think it's going to be a good addition to my wood turning and artistry, that I think I can make other things. You know, I've thought to myself, you know, had ideas of some flat work or some other structural thing that doesn't always have to do with the lathe, but you know, my channel's called Woodturning by Vicki, so I felt like I needed to make sure I incorporated something that is to do with wood turning. Here is this one. I think it turned out pretty cute. The design on it. I did do the same thing. I got too close to the edge and didn't realize it. So you can tell, and I know that I was off like this versus that I was off in the center. And the only reason I know that is because whenever I was taking this, I had exposed one side a lot more than the other. That also, as you can see, my pattern is kind of wonky on the side. It, you know, I didn't remove as much from this side as I did from that side, but that was because of the way I was setting, and yeah, it wasn't my intention. I planned on keeping the whole side of it, or doing kind of like I did on the inside, but you can see I'm lower here and higher here. So like I said, I think it has something to do with that. But my intention is to keep the outside borders too. You know, it's something else that I will have to, you know, account for and make sure, you know, I wished I would have left enough so I would have known enough wood on each side how bad that would have potentially looked. But my problem is this is such a tiny bowl, and I wanted to keep going thinner on it, and that's such a big rim for such a tiny bowl. And so anyway, just let me know what you guys think. I am super thankful to Creality for reaching out to me and giving me the opportunity. We're going to put her in the picture box and her in the picture box and some of the other pieces that I've made, just some boxes that I made. And anyway, I want to thank you guys for stopping by. It means the world to me that you guys watch my videos. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing it. It's free. And don't forget to hit the like button if you liked it. And give me your comment. Leave me any kind of comment that can get you into my next giveaway. And I want you guys to have a great day. And we'll see you on the flip side.